Hey, what's good? I'm professional shooting coach Colin Castello with Shotmechanics Basketball, and today I'm going to help you skyrocket your consistency by optimizing your guide hand. All right, so your guide hand is incredibly important to your consistency because it's what actually guides the ball straight to the basket. And when you can miss 4 different directions, long, short, left, and right, if we can eliminate that left to right miss, all of a sudden you're going to be much more consistent and make more shots. So in today's video, what I'm going to do is give you a few tips and tricks to really kind of help you optimize that guide hand. So next time you get out on the floor, you're going to be a lot more consistent. All right, so before we jump into it, this video is brought to you by the Max One Smart Coach AI shooting app.
Max One is absolutely changing the game with their Smart Coach AI shooting app. This is an app that's actually going to watch you shoot, analyze your jumper, and give you perfectly personalized feedback. Now, this is really the future of personalized shooting instruction, and one of the reasons why I decided to partner with Max One on this project. So now, instead of helping just one athlete at a time, I can help thousands and thousands of athletes all over the world using artificial intelligence and the latest cutting-edge technology. And when I say this technology is insane, I mean it's insane. I've been playing around with it for the last couple weeks and I'm absolutely in love. So click the top link in the description down below or the first pinned comment to save your spot inside the wait list when we launch here very shortly. And every single athlete's going to get a free analysis if they do so. And to go one step further and make it better, anybody who signs up for the wait list is going to get instant access to my TRYOUT Academy series that I produced with Max One. It's an academy that I put together to help you get ready to slay tryouts. From tips and tricks to ways to impress the coach, it's something that you're not going to want to miss because the information is crazy valuable.
So click the top link in the description down below, sign up for the waitlist, and get free access to the pre-TRYOUT Academy today. All right, now when we're thinking about our guide hand, it's really important to stay consistent, right? Like I mentioned before, as you're getting ready to shoot the basketball, if I'm lined up at the hoop right here, if my guide hand is allowing the ball to fall off to the left, or if my guide hand's pushing it or something like that, it's gonna allow the ball to fly either left or right when it's going towards the basket. And like I mentioned before, there's 4 different ways you can miss: long, short, left, and right. And if you notice, most great shooters eliminate that left to right deviation, and so all their shots are missing front to back. And if you can do that, you're automatically gonna make a higher percentage. That's why the guide hand's so important. And one of the reasons why, a lot of times it develops the wrong way is because players are trying to get enough power on their shot. And so that turns into kind of that two-handed flick where you're taking your guide hand up and pushing it like that. Or maybe you were, thinking about your guide hand too much, so you're dropping it off too early, trying to be straight. So today what I wanted to do is give you a few tips and tricks to really help you get there and really optimize your guide hand. Now, the first thing to think about is there's 2 acceptable options when it comes to your guide hand. Now, this is different from a lot of traditional shooting coaching because most of the time coaches say there's only one option for an acceptable guide hand. So the traditional tried and true is what we call fingers to the ceiling, basically meaning that as you go to shoot, your guide hand fingers should point to the ceiling and they should stay to the ceiling all the way through your release, right? Essentially staying on the side of the ball and allowing you to snap your wrist and keep the ball straight and guided towards the hoop. Now, the traditional way is fine. It totally works if it works for you, right? But for a handful of players, that doesn't actually work that great for a few different reasons, and here's why. If I'm getting ready to shoot and I keep my fingers to the ceiling, the way your body is built, if my fingers stay up, it's really hard to get this little extra guide as I push my hand up. Watch as I push my hand fully extended to see how my fingers start to rotate towards the hoop. That's just the way that your muscle structure is built, the way your body's built. And so if I'm forcing my fingers to stay to the ceiling, most of the time when I shoot, it's gonna drop off just a little bit early, somewhere around here, and I'm gonna not have a guide hand for part of this flick, right? So as I start to release, I'm not gonna have a guide hand and the ball can go left, the ball can go right. So like I mentioned before, for some players, this works fantastic, and that's great. If that works for you, phenomenal. It's tried and true, works for a lot of players, right? But there's a second option that a lot of players don't realize can actually work. And this is an option that a lot of elite level shooters use. And basically it's just a flex of the wrist. So instead of finishing with your fingers to the ceiling, you're gonna finish with your thumb to the ceiling, right? So instead on this one, as I come up, I'm going to start to flex my guide hand forward so my thumb rotates at the same time as the snap of my wrist on my shot. So as I start to snap this wrist, they both break and both flex at the same time. And by doing that, I can keep my guide hand on the ball longer. And the longer you can guide the ball, generally the more straight it's going to end up being, right? So for you, what you want to do is you want to test them both out, right? Think about it like a science experiment. You want to try having your traditional guide hand and also the flex forward on your guide hand and find out which one ends up working best for you, right? If you can do that kind of hypothesis test scenario, you're going to ensure that you have the correct one. Now, the one important thing to think about, no matter which one of these you decide to choose, is that your guide hand palm should always face towards the ball, right? Or towards your shooting hand. So basically meaning if I'm getting ready to shoot here and I bring it up as I flex my wrist and I snap them at the same time, I want to make sure that that palm is still facing my other shooting hand, right? If you start to rotate your wrist out and your palm starts going towards the basket or your palm starts going away from the basket, then we know that we're probably not getting a true guide hand, and that's gonna cause the ball to fly off to one side or the other, right? So no matter which one you end up trying, just be sure to, 100% sure that your palm is facing your shooting hand. That way you can keep it straight. That way it actually is a guide, almost like a guide rail on a highway, keeping your car on the highway if you were go flying off. And if you can do that, you're gonna be a lot more consistent and keep it a lot more straight. So a drill that will help you work on your guide hand is what I call triple tap guide hand. So it looks like this. We're gonna come down and we're gonna shoot a form shot for this one. Now, if you want to, you can shoot the shot from anywhere. You can start inside, you can move your way out. I like to start inside, close to the basket, like we're shooting a form shot, right? So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load to this athletic position where I'm getting ready to shoot. I'm gonna make sure that my guide hand is on the side of the ball and my palm is directly facing the middle of the basketball, right, from the outside. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap my dominant thigh, then tap my opposite thigh, then tap my thigh again, and I'm gonna pretend like there's a guide rail going straight up the side of the ball with my guide hand, then I'm gonna bring the ball straight up and snap through. So what I want you to do on this one is really visualize. Almost pretend like you can see a visual barrier that's running up the side of the basketball all the way to the hoop, and you wanna bring the ball up right along that guide rail and snap it off. Then when you get there, you wanna test out which one of these guide hand options you want, finger straight up or finger straight forward. If you can do that, this is fantastic. Like I mentioned, move around from different spots. Starting with form, get used to it. You can then back it out to 15 feet. You can do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, shot goes up. Each time we wanna make sure that that ball's getting back to our right-handed shot line or our dominant hand shot line, and the ball's going straight up that guide rail into the shot. All right, now if you really want to increase your shooting consistency, don't forget, click the top link in the description down below and get on the wait list for the Max 1 Smart Coach AI shooting app. Again, this is the next big thing in shooting technology, and I don't want you to miss out. So go ahead and click the top link in the description down below, and you're gonna get free instant access to my pre-tryout academy. Also, if you're new to Shotmechanics, don't forget to smash that subscribe button because we put out videos every week that are gonna help you get better, I guarantee it. And if you've been around and you wanna make a request, hit a comment in the comment section down below. Let us know what sort of video we should make next, and we run pretty much everything off a request. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castello with Shotmechanics Basketball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, splash on.